Assalamu alaikum and welcome to HumaniPod. I'm your host Inaaya and we have a very special guest, Sir Bilal Hameed. Sir Bilal is a pioneering education entrepreneur, a seasoned A-level chemistry educator and the founder of Alt Academy, an edtech platform that has empowered over 40,000 students.
Actually, that's 80,000 in 80 countries in 25 years of teaching experience. Ivy, Cedar, blah, blah, all of that. But that's a lot of me. And let's get to the questions because there are a lot of questions and I'd love to answer them. There are a lot of fun questions you have for me. I can already tell. So let's get on with it.
To begin, let's talk about education on a global scale. How do you think education in Pakistan compares to systems in countries like UK, Finland, or Singapore?
I have had the privilege of studying in a couple of countries outside of Pakistan also, and as a teacher, you also go study. So Pakistani system is varied. You got the private schools, you got the public schools. Our public schools in different provinces are all different. You got a lot of focus in Punjab on public education, but we as private schools do take our inspiration from some of the best in the world because we do want to change it. So as far as the public school system is concerned, we are way behind most. In our scale, we don't reach enough students. We don't teach about the skills they need to teach. But right now, not even enough students are going to school. But private schools, because they have the luxury of experimenting and trying different things out, this new generation of schools is trying to also adopt things that they learn from international markets and international schools. So there is a shift, but if you want to compare, we'd be somewhere there in the lower 25th percentile of the world.
Many countries today are prioritizing creativity and problem-solving skills. Why is that so?
Well, this is the age of entrepreneurship. And if you know anything about the startup culture, the entrepreneurship culture, is that you have to solve for problems that you don't even know exist. So you can't study about them in classes in school. So what you need is some generic skills. What are some of the generic skills? And not that everybody needs this. You all need, and it's a plethora of artists. You need some artists, some musicians. But all in all, if you want to teach something in addition to arts and culture, you want to teach problem-solving skills. You want to be teaching how to think, communicate, and solve for what pains people.
And do you think Pakistan education system encourages that enough?
Actually, the more I know about it, I think not, because to be a problem solver, you have to be a rule breaker. To be a rule breaker, you have to go against what conventional wisdom says, and many teachers don't encourage that. So what I've seen in my own daughter's learning, so when they're in grade 1 and 2 and 3, the teachers say, be whatever you want to be, break things, do that. And you must also realize when you get to older grades like 6th and 7th and 8th, everybody says, okay, now get marks, get this, get that. And that becomes so painful. Like I see the love that people had for education, and it's not just, I'm talking about you or my daughter, I'm just generally, as you get older, that it goes away. But if you tell somebody to solve this problem, everybody would love to solve problems.
That would make the education system more better.
I think it'll make everybody better, not just education system. But, we need to solve problems and we need to let people be more creative, not follow rules all the time. I mean, we are good at also breaking rules, if you notice. So we break all the wrong rules to break. We don't need to break those rules. We need to make thinking rules, how we come up with solutions.
So another question I would like to know an answer of, how does Humanitas try to bring a more global or modern approach to education here in Pakistan?
So you tell me, you were a student at VLC before, at Humanitas. Did you feel that VLC was a more modern and global approach to education? Did you have friends in other schools?
Yeah.
So did you feel a difference in the approach?
Kind of, like in the education, the studying and stuff.
So, education is everything. It's not just when a teacher says, okay, let's study this. So, I'm talking about the whole school approach. Have you felt that about VLC? Are you feeling that with Humanitas? What are you feeling about the current, how are you going through this education of 7th grade and 8th grade for yourself? Is it more modern for you, or it's the same as what your friends go through in different schools?
It's modern because there's no pressure and,
There's no pressure.
Yeah.
Are you learning?
It's a calm school.
It's a calm school. Are you learning though?
Yeah.
Good. That's what we want, because
learning with playing.
Yeah. So parents don't like the word playing when applied to 9th graders at times. But learning, you said a very good word. You're calm and relaxed. Calm and relaxed are precursors to learning for the long run. If you want to learn, and if you're learning with stress, you will forget it very soon. But if you learn when you are relaxed and happy, generally it's a more longer term learning. And by the way, the West and other countries, not just the West, you got the East, you got Singapore, which is a little more stricter in education, but Japan, you've got like a few schools in Africa, you've got schools in Europe and America. And they have all been inspiration for more, not just for Muzaffar and VLC, but many teachers who are part of your curriculum. And in Humanitas also, how we develop the next 5 years of your life. Most of it comes from people experimenting, from using other parts of what people have learned from modern approaches.
Yeah.
Now, many of these approaches come from these small schools and not big systems. Because they will experiment and will say, oh, I like that, that worked really well, and I will borrow it. Some of them have done this 10 years ago and we've seen the difference. And we'll say, okay, this school in Peru did it very well. So my learning, I am not a graduate of education. I've only learned from what others are doing. Other educational entrepreneurs. And so has Muzaffar. When I talk to all the teachers here, I feel that some of them have been looking at that. So life and education does have a global, I mean, if we like to do this, it's got to be global. Because that's how we learn.
Now let's talk about A-levels specifically. A-levels are recognized internationally. How does Humanitas ensure that students here meet those global standards?
The best thing about A-levels is it's a very, very easy way to get global recognition. You know why? Because it's actually designed for third world countries to give exams. And the whole world, everybody becomes the same standard. Because they tell you, this is what you got to study, this is the practical exams. You just give the exams and you see the practice and you get grades. Most people in Pakistan do that really well. You know, and what we want to bring forward is create more of the relaxed culture in A-levels. It has become a very stressful time. So in Pakistan,
if you're calm, you learn more.
Yes, if you're calm, you learn more. And the race to grades and marks and all that, I've seen people who've learned A-levels without all the stress and still getting the same grades as they would have gotten if they were rushed. So but the beauty of A-levels is it's something that we can give easily. We can learn. It's not that difficult, by the way. But we cannot make that our only thing about education. What most schools in Pakistan get wrong about A-levels and even IGCSE and O-levels is that most of the child's day or the student's day is just spent on those things, those chapters, those subjects, those exams, curriculums.
Off topic, I've heard A-level students bully a lot. What's your take on that?
I think they bully. First of all, you've heard. Have you seen? Have you had older siblings?
No.
You have friends of older siblings?
No.
Have you not interacted with anybody older from that age group?
Not really.
So it's not the fact that it's A-levels, but I understand that age group. So you're saying that 16 to 18-year-olds, yeah, sometimes they can be very nasty. I think everybody wants to feel good about themselves, and sometimes A-level students take it out on other students versus because somebody has taken on. So anybody who's bullying is really trying to deal with something else in their life. You know, that's what I feel.
Yeah.
And I think schools can definitely play a big role in helping kids focus and not do that. Because I think parents, it's too hard to raise a child now. Parents are already working, most parents work, both parents work, and they're working day and night, and then they don't have time for their kid. And suddenly, where the child learns this from in school. So I think you're right. There is a thing like that. I think we can also help kids with that. I think you guys have a culture of which is kind of, I think the culture at VLC in Humanitas has been like that. It natural suppression of that feeling. The kids are happier here. One of the first things I noticed when I came on campus was, first I felt it strange. I saw everybody's like buzzing around and I was uncomfortable. Then I realized they're buzzing around after a few days because everybody's so happy and chill. I think that you probably will see a lot less of that at A-levels at Humanitas. But then it exists, yes, I agree with you.
Moving on to Pakistan's broader education landscape. What are some of the biggest challenges facing education in Pakistan today?
There are so many challenges. I think we all, as you know,
what are the main ones?
So the main ones for a country, as a country, most kids in some provinces don't even go to school. That's the first problem. Second problem is when they do go to school, what they're learning is not what's needed. Third problem is they're also abused by anger and sorry.
That has a huge impact on our economy.
It does. And it's not just economy, it's also how we are angrier now. Because, you know, I'm sure you've heard of this. Jahil ja rahe hain, ye ho raha hai, badtameez log hain. Where does all that come from? When you don't go to school and you're missing interaction with, as you grow older, you just learn from the streets, and the streets are not the best place to learn stuff from. And schools are like homes, a second home. They're supposed to be a second home. And if the kids
are people to comfort you.
Yes, to have friends. Like, in earlier times, like people miss out. Most kids learn from other kids.
Yeah.
And if you do not go to school and you don't have mahalle, which they used to be a lot more in my time, now people are afraid to get out of the house. So where do you learn from? You learn from random people. Sometimes now you learn from TV and phone and all that. So schools. So our problem is that kids don't go to school. When they go to school, the teachers are not trained. They don't have the right knowledge to teach. The kids are not having fun at all.
No equipment.
No equipment. You can actually teach with nothing but a piece of paper and pen.
How do schools like Humanitas contribute to improving the education system?
So, by creating people who can question, we have a network effect. Like, I know we're talking to each other and there are people behind me judging what we're talking about right now, right? But now they get to learn the kind of person I am, and I get to learn the kind of person they are. And it might help them affect me, it might help me affect them. I've been in the industry for 25 years. One of your founders, Muzaffar, I only met a month ago. I did not know this person existed. So in the 1 month, I'm learning what he's like and I'm learning from him. So the whole goal of education is to be a lifelong learner. And for that, you've got to be curious, you've got to be creative, you've got to also be committed, and also to have compassion for people. Sometimes people say, what can a few people do in the world? What people don't realize is the biggest things in the world are made by just a few people. The biggest changes don't come from big companies, they come from a small set of people. So that's what the goal is there. The goal is not scale, the goal is not 1 million Humanitas students. The goal is meaningful people in the right places. And when you have the next generation with you, when you are working in the real world and juniors come and work under you, or you become a teacher, or you raise a family, kids, this is what I need to teach them.
In your opinion, what changes are needed to make Pakistan's education more future focused?
I think if you stop telling the kids what to study and let them study yourself, they'll already be future focused. If the purpose is future focused, you just stop making yourself tell me what you want to study. If I tell me what you want to study in 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, that'll already be future focused. Because nothing in your life you'll want to study that's in the past. You'll always want to study the future. So asking adults to make curriculum is sometimes the worst thing we do. But we ask them. But remember, a lot of the things I say, parents don't like this. They don't want to hear. So we come in. So the best way to do that is the people in charge are living in the future. Their mind should only be living in the future, so that we can help create that kind of curriculum right now.
Technology is changing everything, especially education. So I want to dive in the role of education.
Sure, but can I say something before that?
Yeah.
Technology is changing everything, but technology is changing education the slowest. Like, how many of your teachers are using AI in the classroom right now? Not many, right? But in the real world, almost everything is not done by AI already. So actually, we are slowest when we talk about education. Is always the last guy who catches up.
Not really, because people use ChatGPT nowadays to do their homework and stuff.
So just because people are using it doesn't mean they are the fastest. I'm saying they're still slowest. Because you see, if you know that, this is the thing. First of all, AI is not even AI. It's not even AI yet. It's just machine learning. It's not deep enough. But imagine people do it for a very small part of their life. You're a student?
Yeah.
How many minutes of the day yesterday did you use ChatGPT?
None.
Exactly. But let's say you might use it for some homework someday. In a week, how many hours is that? One maybe, maximum. 1 minute. Ask people in the real world. I am an educator. I am also looking at many things in the world. I have been using AI for at least, and I'm not even teaching in a classroom right now. But on a day, I use it for 2 hours a day. So people in the world, and I'm talking about business world, everywhere, people are using it for an hour, 2 hours. So education is actually very far behind. Teachers are not using it also. So, there is not enough use. Because also it's a scary part also. I get that. But how can AI help? That's where fun is. Because we've been trying to solve education through technology for 25 years. So when you read my whole biography, my degree is computer science, which is the degree you do for AI, right? So 2002, when I was going into education, everybody said, oh, high-tech education with technology, sab kuch kaam ho jayega. Everybody's like, yo, it's been 25 years. No technology has ever solved education's problem. AI will also not solve education. It's just a tool. The problems of education are not the tool. The problems are that what the parents want for their child and what the child wants and the child needs and the school and the country wants, जब ये सब एक पेज पे आ जाएंगे ना तो सही हो जाएगा. The most important thing AI can do is, if you do not have the resources to go to school, AI can teach you for free. That I'll guarantee. So, अगर वो जो पहला word है ना, actually आधा काम curiosity का है. If you have curiosity, if you want to learn something, it's not for free. Today, if you say, I want to know how, let's say, I can create a new course. Let's say you want to become a teacher. Hey, AI, I wanted to create a course into how to set up a podcast studio for my students. It'll tell you exactly the whole course we can sikhana hai.
Lastly, how should student voices be included in decision making?
Well, that's the thing. There's something called student agency. The student agency, the idea is that students, what you just said, they control the path of their learning, how much control they have. And so one way is to talk to you guys. And the more we listen to you, the more we understand what needs to happen. That's called through consultants, that's called through advisory. I think when you guys have these, this podcast is an example of that. You guys have I think you being a separate social media account to be able to Humanistation. And there has to be creative ways to listen to you guys. Sometimes in university also, some universities even allow students to help design the curriculum. So when we come across designing, when we talk about life skills, essential skills, and all the other programs that we are here to design for Humanitas, much of that has been taken from what the students ask me in everyday class in schools. Okay, why don't we do this? Why don't we teach us that? Why do I care about this when I want to care about that? So
that's what we mostly say in maths. Like, why do we learn this? Why do we have to learn this?
Yeah, and sometimes what people don't answer is that sometimes you need to learn for knowledge, and sometimes you need to learn for skill, and sometimes you need to learn for interest.
That was HumaniPod. See you guys in the next episode. Stay curious and keep learning.